Running, I worry that there's not going to be much Nick can do to actually stop it.
Josh is also making good use of the grassy terrain that Nicholas had brought into play. I do think Nicholas made the right choice by bringing in Bulu and then switching into P2.
But he still gets the healing.
Yes, exactly.
Porygon 2 going for a Toxicking that Arcanine. Tapu Bulu going for a Wood Hammer, and it's not going to be enough to pick up the knockout. Xurkitree going for a +4 Dazzling Gleam. Oh my god. Oh, barely missing the KO. That is so close. And Nicholas recovering all of its health with the Figgy Berry.
Yes, Figgy Berry on Bulu. Very interesting choice. I like it, though.
Yeah, for sure. Those 50% berries, we've been seeing a lot of them recently on a ton of different Pokemon. I've always been a little bit skeptical of them because you need to be below a quarter of your health to proc them. But you can really see that it allows you to recover so much health. It can really change the tide of a battle if you're able to proc them. And these players have really trained their Pokemon. They've calculated, they've figured out what type of moves they want to take so that those berries can be procced. So that's incredible to me.
Koko will come back in, and even though Xurkitree is very powerful, Koko will still be faster.
Don't forget we're in Trick Room, though. That Xurkitree is probably the second slowest thing on the field after Porygon 2.
You're absolutely right.
Xurkitree is going to be doing a ton of damage, though.
Like you had said on the turn that he set up
the
Trick
my god,
Room.
the Xurkitree. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow. The Wiki Berry on the Xurkitree will bring it up to very livable health.
Oh my goodness.
And he +4 Thunderbolt into Porygon 2 and gets another Beast Boost. I know Pokemon faint, but he just went right to Lavender Town.
That was incredible. Oh my god. Lorcy really showing how powerful Xurkitree can become. Like, if you're Nick, what do you do here? This Xurkitree is going to end pretty much any Pokemon that you switch in at this point. In fact, I think, actually, my bad, guys. Sorry, stream. I believe Tapu Koko is his last Pokemon. In electric terrain, this Xurkitree is just doing so much damage, especially after the Beast Boost. Hariyama's going to come back in, reset that Fake Out pressure, and this looks really bad for Nick. At this point, I want to say Nick should probably just try and... Oh, he's going to forfeit.
Right, conserve.
You want to conserve some of your information, right? Just see what's going on.
Yeah, he might not know what item was on the Koko, for example. So.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to reveal too much.
Right.
So I really believe that Lorcy just really showed off how powerful that was. And really showing, like, you would think Porygon 2 is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the format, right?
Yes.
After the Eviolite boost, boosting its special defense and defense by 1.5, it's very difficult to take down in one hit. To be fair, Nick's Porygon 2 is at around 60-70%, but even still, to be able to take out a Porygon 2 in one hit is a big deal.
Now, how does Nicholas adjust? Like I had said at the very beginning of the last game, strangely enough, it seems like Xurkitree is very good against Nicholas's team, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. If you're Nicholas, you have to be thinking about, what was really effective there. Firstly, the Tapu Bulu. The Tapu Bulu can output massive damage so long as that Arcanine's dead. And to ensure that the Arcanine's dead, it looks like Nicholas's best answer is generally going to be that Araquanid. So you really want that Araquanid and Porygon 2 and maybe Tapu Bulu to mesh. But you have to be really smart about it. You want them to... You can't let Araquanid die first turn. You can't let your Tapu Bulu... They're all really key critical parts of this team. Whereas I feel like for Lorcy, it's not the biggest deal if he loses his Celesteela or if he loses his Arcanine, because that Xurkitree is just going to be doing so much work against Nicholas's team. So I feel like it's a bit more of an uphill battle, but definitely doable.
We notice that Nick decides to go with the Coco lead again. We know that we have Skydrop, and I do believe Skydrop and Trick Room is a pretty interesting combination when used together.
Yeah, for sure.
However, that Hariyama fake-out pressure, Josh is doing a lot.
Yeah.
With a Circuitry and a Hariyama, I'm impressed.
Hariyama going to go for that fake out on the Tapu Koko, get some decent damage off. And Circuitry going to go straight for the Tail Glow. Josh is not messing around. He really wants to get things rolling as soon as possible.
I really like Tail Glow on Circuitry, especially Josh's version, since he's carrying that Wiki Berry to gain his health back. So even if he were to get damaged on the turn he sets up Tail Glow, he could potentially just, be right back in livable range for another hit.
Something else I noticed about Josh's team is he runs a lot of ways to deal with Garchomp. Garchomp's definitely Circuitry's biggest fear. So that Celesteela pretty much walls Garchomp. That Tapu Fini can do some decent damage.
I like the switch into Araquanid. We do have Trick Room up, and it's very unlikely that Circuitry will use an electric move into the Coco. So I do think that that's a pretty good switch.
I am a little bit worried that you say that, specifically because I've played around with things that are a little less powerful than Circuitry, and they can definitely KO a Tapu Koko in electric terrain.
Well, after a Tail Glow, absolutely.
Especially, that's scary,
Circuitry
man.
is now +4. Porygon 2 is out of here. However, we do have a Toxic on Circuitry.
That's going to put a timer on it for sure.
Yes. So it can't just infinitely stay in play and wreak havoc. Tapu Bulu will come into play and change the terrain. However, with Circuitry already being at +4, he doesn't need the electric terrain to be powerful anymore. So the life gain from the grassy terrain may actually benefit Josh again in this situation.
Something that I think Nicholas might try and do is just double into that Circuitry. It's so powerful here and just so decimating to Nicholas's team. If he can get the quick knockout right here, Josh we'll have to see what Josh is able to do with the rest of his team to really bring back that pressure.
Araquanid is a very powerful Pokemon. His Water Bubble ability increases the damage that water moves that he does deal. So along with the same type attack boost, even through an Intimidate, as you see, it will just do incredible damage with the Z move.
So for those of you that are wondering, we already said a little bit earlier, Araquanid just misses the KO when intimidated, depending on the Arcanine. Not necessarily with Hydro Vortex.
Yes.
Circuitry going for the Thunderbolt, getting the Araquanid. Oh, and a roar from Tapu Bulu.
Tapu Bulu uses Roar, switches out the Circuitry, resetting his special attack boost. When Circuitry comes back into play, it'll be neutral.
That is something I was not expecting at all. That was a great play by Nicholas. I really, really love what he did there. I know that I've heard of a couple Tapu Bulu running stuff like Whirlwind and Roar. I know it gets both of them. But it's very rare. So it's quite surprising to see Roar coming out of Nick's Tapu Bulu. But I guess he has that for specific matchups, and in this case, it's really going to help.
Nicholas does, however, decide to forfeit the match.
Was that Nick who forfeited? Oh my God, Joshua taking the game. That was incredibly fast. Oh my God.
That was a very quick set.
Oh my God.
Well,
that was incredible.
You want to know what's strange too? And maybe Nicholas knew that he was finished. He was the one who decided to concede.
Yeah.
However, I felt like that was the best play Nicholas had done so far, the roar into the Circuitry.
Yeah. He had the Tapu Koko out, he had the Tapu Bulu out. It wasn't necessarily lost. It wasn't the greatest position for him. He still was only at 2 Pokemon and Josh was at 3. But it was definitely doable. But that was incredible play from Josh. That was like, oh my god. I am absolutely honored to be housing him from New York City. This guy has been outstanding. He's 6-0, undefeated right now.
Yeah, man. And to talk a little bit about that last match, there's really not much we can say. Besides how powerful Xurkitree was. Xurkitree has never really been known as the most powerful Ultra Beast. How was Josh able to use it so well? Was it just a good matchup?
I don't want to say it was just a good matchup. One thing is that Nick had very few electric resists, which is really critical. You can play around it with Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko's so frail. Tapu Koko is, Tapu Koko's a little easier to get rid of. This Xurkitree was incredible, though. Just being able to boost so quickly, get its damage output up so quickly, and really be supported by the rest of Josh's team was just outstanding. So I am amazed that just how much work it put in. And it's really scary, especially with that beast boost.
I know, man. It was very well played, I have to admit. Well, I suppose there's really not much more to say about that round. So I think that I'm going to have to go ahead and collect Josh and get his thoughts on that very quick round. So we're going to be right back with Josh.
We are back with Joshua Lorsi. Lorsi, congratulations on your win, man.
Thank you.
You are undefeated in round 6. I think that guarantees you cut.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that. And that was some absolutely incredible Xurkitree play. I'm not going to lie. I already know some of the secret techs on your team. We're not going to reveal them here.
Okay.
But what sort for the stream? What sort of led you to go with Xurkitree? It's an odd choice, right?
Teams are just not prepared for it. Basically, just sweeping through Xurkitree in games, and Xurkitree's a very strong one. Especially that team that I just played right now. I actually had no way to actually KO my Xurkitree, and I abused that by just leading Intimidate / Xurkitree to. He decides to lead a Blue or Aquanid or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I was expecting since he needs high damage output to deal with the Xurkitree.
Yeah.
Those are his only 2 mons that could actually deal with it. I knew that if leading Arcanine was literally always safe.
Yeah.
Because he could also lead his Koko like he did game 1.
Yeah.
That also boosts my Xurkitree. And
yeah.
I don't know. It's just teams are just not prepared for it. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, we were talking here, right? We looked at Nick's team. Mm-hmm. He had 0. He had Tapu Bulu as his electric resist, right? I feel like we were talking about how, Tapu Koko is a little easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Whereas Xurkitree just powers through everything with just sheer power and more bulk, right?
Yeah, with the barrier as well.
Oh, yeah.
It also puts in positions on where I could just get my barrier, and Xurkitree's at basically a half and just doing work, as you can see in the last match.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing I like about Xurkitree a lot is you can boost yourself, and then when you pick up KOs, you also boost yourself. So
yeah,
that was pretty cool. I think I showcased that in the set that I had with Nick. But Nick is also a very he's a great player. Now,
yeah, for sure.
That team that he's been using it for a while now, and he says he really likes it as well. So I'm actually happy I get to play a friend and to guarantee cut or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
and, I wish him the best.
You know what, guys? Stream. I said earlier when Josh came on to play, I said, "This is the nicest guy you will ever meet." He comes in here, he's in the interview, and he gives shout outs to his opponent. Look at this guy, all right? This guy, so sweet. Twitter handle Lorsi loves you. He already loves you, even without having, without even having met you. You're just such a positive energy,
Thanks,
and
man.
I love that.
I really appreciate that.
I got one more quick question for you.
Okay.
You brought a lot of Hariyama, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't even start with Hariyama. Hariyama is literally. I brought Hariyama every game that I played in.
Today?
Yeah.
It's the MVP?
MVP. No, wait.
Well, Xurkitree's the MVP.
They work together.
They work together. All right.
I originally had Nihilego on that. So I played in Virginia. I had Ninetales on that slide. It did absolutely nothing. I was testing Nihilego out, and Hariyama and Nihilego have great synergy together.
Yeah.
But there was just something about Xurkitree just appealed to me. And I wanted an electric type in that last slot that I had.
For sure.
I had my I knew I wanted to use Hariyama. I knew I wanted to use Phoenix Arcanine, Celestial, and Chomp. But I wanted to fiddle with like an electric type in that slot, and I didn't like Coco as much, and I just felt like teams were underprepared for circuitry. And,
Yeah, for sure.
It's been working.
About the Hariyama, you put a lot of fake out pressure on, and it was outside of Trick Room, which is something we don't see often.
So with what's going on in the meta right now, there's like this core that's going around with like Porygon 2, Gigalith stuff. And,
yeah, we know.
Well,
we got fake PG, right? Fake PG.
And then we have Mimilax.
Mimilax, yeah.
So I decided that I don't need to run Trick Room.
Yeah.
And that Hariyama could, deal with those type of teams very well.
Yeah.
Hariyama Celesteela deals with Mimikyu Snorlax pretty well.
Yeah.
Hariyama Circuitry just blows things up. And,
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I'm lost for words. I'm actually happy I finally cut. It took me. I tried, and I kept failing. And when I finally use something that's not like, I guess you could call it standard, but something that's not standard, I get to do it. I think that one thing I want to tell like the viewers, I think comfort is like a big key on success in
for sure.
this format and in VGC in general. Like if you don't feel comfortable with the team, I don't advise using it. And if you do feel comfortable with the team, and if it's not standard and people are talking you down or not using the team, as long as you're comfortable with the team, I suggest you should use it.
Yeah,
comfort
for sure.
is key, definitely in this format.
For sure, man. Well, congratulations. It was an absolutely excellent match.
Thanks.
We got to see the awesome Pokemon circuitry, something that I don't think anyone was really expecting. So a huge congratulations to you. And yeah, I guess we'll see you tomorrow for Top Cut.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Bye, guys.